Hi. I've made a lot of goofy videos recently, but I thought before the year ends, I'll do a more serious video or two because I really want to talk about the new Doctor Who special. So I thought I'd do a preemptive discussion about Doctor Who before I start preparing myself to watch that. I'm very nervous for it. I don't really know what to expect because Doctor Who has been on such a downward trajectory. I feel like watching it right now, it feels like you're watching your best friend try to climb a mountain, but they don't have any climbing gear on, they don't really know what they're doing, so they keep getting a little higher and then coming back down again. And I feel like Doctor Who is exactly like that right now. It's such a mess. And when you're watching it, you become very aware that the new Doctor is kind of an idiot. She kind of doesn't seem to care about anything. Very naive, very prone to making mistakes all the time. More often than not, the episodes are about the companions and their own story, and also, the Doctor is there, but she isn't really a main character anymore. She's kind of just the Doctor, and a really silly Doctor at that. A Doctor who lets spiders suffocate in a room and thinking that's the best way to deal with them. Just leave them in there, it's fine. And if you asked me, like gun to my head, to name an episode from Jodie Whittaker's series, I think I'd really struggle to name a single episode that I can remember vividly. And I can remember vague details about like the best episode with the Jadoon, where there's the past version of the Doctor, and that was a great episode. That was a really big highlight of Jodie Whittaker's run, because all in all, her run has been pretty bad. Because I feel like Chris Chibnall has done something which I can't really complain about too much. He's taking risks, he's making big decisions. He's chosen to do away with two-parters. There are now 3 companions. The Doctor is now a child, essentially. And it's nothing against Jodie Whittaker. I think she's a phenomenal actress, but her Doctor really rubs me the wrong way, and I'm not a fan. And it really makes me sad because I love Doctor Who. I miss being excited to watch Doctor Who. I miss the feeling of like, oh yeah, Doctor Who's on, I'm so excited. Now it's more, oh, Doctor Who's on, what's it going to be like this time? And I feel like when you have episodes like Flatline in Peter Capaldi's run, and like the Zygon episodes, and the Hellbent, or is it Heaven Sent, whichever one is where the Doctor's trapped in a loop with Peter Capaldi, that was a great episode. It was intense, scary, it was well written. It was just a really, really good episode. And it just made me miss Stephen Moffat even more, because that was a highlight, and now I couldn't tell you a single thing from the new series that I can go, yeah, that was a highlight from Jodie Whittaker's run. I feel like Chris Chibnall has really struggled, and he is the new showrunner, so he has a lot more on his plate. He's a lot more pressure on him. So he's thought, you know what? I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to make Doctor Who into something different. I'm going to really try and change it up a bit. I'm going to, have a female Doctor, and I'm going to have 3 companions, and each episode's going to be an hour long, and there's not going to be any two-parters, and it's all going to be single narrative episodes with no like ongoing thing. Like they have like the Timeless Child now. What was that again? The Doctor is the first person to regenerate. I think that might have been it, but I honestly can't remember. And that's the best way I can describe this new era of Doctor Who. I just want to be able to sit down and watch Doctor Who and enjoy it and not have to think about what it was before. But I can't help it because I've seen so many incarnations of Doctor Who, and I've seen so many fantastic episodes from Russell T Davies and Moffat and their runs as showrunner. And now Chris Chibnall, he's just starting out. Maybe he'll improve. But honestly, I think Doctor Who could do with a massive break. I think Doctor Who needs, now more than ever, to like step back from itself and take a break and not make an episode for a while until the writers can take some time to think about what they've done and like ruminate on their mistakes. And you know, it's not entirely Chris Chibnall's fault because he's a showrunner. You know, he brings in new writers who show a lot of promise, and they have to make new episodes, and some of them are good. There's the Jadoom one, like I said, the whole Master run. I don't know why they brought the Master back. Do they not know that there are other villains? It's like the Daleks. It's like that there are other monsters in Doctor Who you could bring back, like the Rani. I'd love to see the Rani again. The what was he called? The one who made you the Dream Doctor guy. You know who I mean? The guy, the Dream Lord. That was it. The guy who makes you fall asleep. Bring those guys back. But it's always the Master, and it's never surprising. Like, yeah, it was a bit like, oh, it's the Master, but it wasn't a big thing. It was just like, oh, yeah, I guess the Master's back now. Great, and he's crazy again. Even though they did the whole character arc with him finally becoming, you know, a good person, I guess. If they had just ended the Master where they left it, where John Sim came back and he was with Missy, that was a fantastic story arc, and I would have loved it. I wouldn't have minded if that was it for the Master. But now they've got to bring him back because he's a popular villain. And they're making him crazy again and undoing everything they did with his character. And I just watch it and I'm just not that invested because I'm very aware that they're just going to do the same thing over and over and over again. Bring back the Master, kill off the Master, make it like the Master can't come back, and then just bring him back again. And now they're doing Revolution of the Daleks or whatever, and it's so tiresome. I mean, how many of the Daleks can Doctor Who possibly come up with until it runs out of steam and decides to do a different monster? How many times are we going to see new forms of the same villain over and over again? I am cautiously optimistic, though, for this new special, because, you know, they've brought back Captain Jack Harkness, which the nostalgic person in me is all for. I'm excited for that because, you know, as Captain Jack, I love him. He's a great character. They are getting rid of Bradley Walsh and Yaz. They're getting rid of those characters, which is interesting to me because I always thought Bradley Walsh and Ryan's story was so interesting. I feel like Doctor Who really does just need a break, and I hope that this special is the start of a new beginning for the show. I hope that it surprises me and I watch it and I go, you know what, that was actually really great. I really want to be like freshly surprised. I want to watch it and go, you know what, that was good. I just want to enjoy Doctor Who again. Hey, it's me again. Just a side note, I kind of make out in this video that the only problem with Doctor Who at the minute is Chris Chibnall and the new Jodie Whittaker stuff. But, I don't know, I guess Doctor Who has been having problems ever since Peter Capaldi's run with all the Kill the Moon in the Forest of the Night. Like, there were some dreadful episodes. And it's just, it's not the same. It's really not. And I want to be surprised. I want to sit back, watch Revolution of the Daleks, and then make a video on it saying, you know what, that was great. And I'll be really happy. It'll be a really happy video. But this is kind of just a ramble about my opinions on the new Doctor Who as it is. There are people out there who will be enjoying Doctor Who right now, and that's great. There will be people who are watching it, and they don't hate it. They like the companions, they like the new Doctor, and that's great. If it's for you, fantastic. But I'd be very curious to know what people think of the show as it is now in comparison to what it was before. And I know that you shouldn't think of it like that. You shouldn't think of what the show was before and compare it, because maybe it isn't trying to be what it was before, and that's fine. The show as it is now, if it continues down this path, I'm still going to watch it. I'll still make a video on it every now and then talking about how bad it is. But I want to make a video on Doctor Who now where I compliment it. I want my Revolution of the Daleks video to be positive. I don't want to rip it apart, but right now it feels like that's all I'm doing. I'm just watching Doctor Who and I've got my critic hat on and I'm not enjoying it. And it's not because I'm being hypercritical and watching for flaws. Chris Chibnall, man, you just need to get your shit together. I'm done. The end.